I'd like to call to order the Board of Safety public meeting for Wednesday, March 23rd, 2022. If we can please, well, it says roll call first. Yeah, but it says roll call to order, I'm sorry. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we ask that there be a moment of silence for the family of Tom Kidd, who lost his father, and then that'll be followed by a prayer from Pastor Ken. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Let us pray. Thank you for the opportunity to gather and advance the cause of safety in our community. We thank you for those that stand in the line to make that possible. We lift up Sergeant Kidd and his family right now as they grieve and ask for your comfort. We ask for your wisdom and your Spirit's guidance in our deliberations here this evening. And we ask this all in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. All right, roll call, please.
Josh Gubbert.
Present.
Jim Wolthoff.
Present.
Davey Lobos.
Present.
Norm Stick.
Present.
Charlie Caper.
Present.
Ralph Miller.
Present.
William Fisher.
Here.
Todd Wilkening.
Here.
Carl Brittingham.
Here.
Nick Motter.
Here. All right, we have to call for public comment 3 times. If you need to make public comment, please come to the podium and state your name and address. Public comment 1.
Do you need public comment?
I'll wait till the end.
Okay.
Public comment twice. Do you make public comment?
No.
Public comment 3 times, being none. We need a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion from Norm. Is there a second?
I'll second motion.
A second from Dave. Are there any questions on the minutes? Being none, roll call vote, please.
Josh Gubbert.
Yes.
Jim Wolthoff.
Yes.
Davey Lobos.
Yes.
Norm Stick.
Yes.
Charlie Caper.
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Zips report. Is there anything from Tim?
We did not get one.
He's off.
Okay.
There is a report in your packet, but he's not here.
He's in the process of trying to add more recruits, so,
That's wonderful.
yeah. We need some more retirees if anybody's interested.
I'm interested in retiring. Is that what you mean?
Shows that they had 92 total hours last month, patrol 40 hours, training 28, and miscellaneous 24. All right, police department, communications.
Yes, Board. So as you guys are aware, I think Fire Chief Wilkening helped me out in notifying you, and I think I also notified you, but we had an incident on March 8th, 2022 in town. I'm here to present letters of accommodation for 3 officers that were involved in this incident. I'm actually going to read an email that was sent to me by one of the officers recommending another officer, so I'm going to embarrass him since he's sitting back here because I thought it was really good. It says, on March 8, 2022, I, along with other officers, responded to a 911 call for a suicidal male armed with a handgun. Shortly after arriving on scene, Officer Sean Meyer and I made contact with the subject, who was frantic in state and armed with a pistol aimed at his head. Immediately after making contact with the subject, I witnessed Officer Meyer begin to speak with him and make every attempt to resolve the situation in a peaceful manner. Officer Meyer took on the role of crisis negotiator, for which he had no formal training. Despite this, Officer Meyer did not give up and, at the risk of his own safety, maintained a positive and compassionate demeanor with the subject. Officer Meyer continued to relentlessly to calm the subject down, which was received, as the subject eventually sat down on the floor and even took his finger off the trigger of the weapon. For over 40 minutes, Officer Meyer spoke with the subject while waiting for SWAT negotiators to arrive on scene, taking on heavy emotional and physical toll. Without Officer Meyer's quick thinking, adaptability, persistence, and kindness, there was little doubt that this incident would have ended in the loss of a life. It is for this reason I am recommending Officer Sean Meyer to be recognized. His recommendation was for the act of merit, which we have never given out yet, so we're still looking into that purpose, but I wanted to, at minimum, recognize the officers involved in this incident. As I also received a letter from my deputy chief that said, just wanted to quickly commend all three of you for handling this call last night. Your response and actions speak for themselves, I believe. Had SWAT not been involved, the situation may have ended in the same manner. In addition to your response following the proper procedures was also important and was complete as it should have been, which includes contacting everyone and all appropriate resources. Thank you for helping me after the fact in collecting the weapons. Thank you also to Officer Huppenthal, who helped pick up some of the stuff at the end. So I've written letters of commendation to all three officers. Corporal Ryan Miller, come on up. Officer Marcus McDowell, come on up. And Officer Sean Meyer, as you come up here. My letters to them say I would like to commend you all for the response that you had on March 8, 2022. This was an unusual but very dangerous and life-threatening call. You responded to the scene, took decisive action, removing the family and notifying the SWAT team, all while the subject was holding a firearm. Officer Meyer began negotiations with the subject to calm him down and gain as much control as possible. Officer McDowell maintained safety for Officer Meyer, all while speaking with SWAT personnel who were on their way. You maintained this for an extended period of time, only being relieved by a negotiator whom was able to finish the job you started and ended the standoff peacefully. This kind of attitude, mental fortitude, and devotion is what we expect from every officer in the town of Cedar Lake. As Chief of Police, I am extremely proud of all of you for your efforts put forth on that day, and on behalf of myself, Cedar Lake Police Department, you are commended for a job well done. And I have issued letters or certificates of commendation, which says your decisive action during a dangerous and life-threatening call notifying the SWAT team, all while the subject was holding a firearm. Your calming actions and ability to gain control ended in a peaceful result. The Board of Safety and I would like to thank you for your excellent work. So this is Officer Sean Meyer. Let me get to yours.
My brother.
That's your brother. Here we go. Officer Sean Meyer. That's for you. Those are your copies.
Do I hold it like this?
You can hold it out if you'd like. We're going to take a picture of Officer Miller. Corporal Miller, I mean. And Officer McDowell. Now, Officer Miller did come to my office and say, Chief, I don't think I should be recognized as I didn't do very much, but I told him, Corporal Miller, it's your shift. You ran it, you made sure it ran the way that it was supposed to run, and you should be recognized as well for what took place. And you were there just in case either one of these guys had the ability to, or needed the ability to call on him for anything. Both myself and the Deputy Chief were notified immediately. We got on scene actually we were both pretty close on scene before SWAT arrived, so we were able to help. But it was an amazing team effort. Without Officer Meyer's ability to look up on his phone and how to negotiate. I wasn't without his ability to talk the gentleman down, or at least calm him down in a scenario, I think things could have ended much, much worse than they actually had. I also want to thank the Deputy Chief who followed up on all of it, filed the proper paperwork with the prosecutor's office to remove the weapons from the house, to ensure that nothing else happens there. So I really appreciate the work that you did out there. So, Board of Safety, these are my officers.
Thank you for what you do. Do you guys want to stand up over here?
It was a team effort, realistically.
It was an excellent team effort.
And did Bill tell you that part of the car, the aftercare requires that you get a new car?
He's got a new one, and he's got a new one, so I don't think so.
Is that 25,000 miles?
No.
Let's move it.
Yeah, just show the certificate. Oh, wait, one more right here. Smile.
Hold on, let me open up my thing.
I'll go with it. I was gonna ask you to remove your hat. There might be a reason why it's wrong.
Or the uniform. Grab it.
Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
I know it's stressful.
Good job.
Thank you.
I do, thank you very much. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
Thank you. That hearing is tomorrow, by the way, at 11.
Is it?
Okay. County, for the red flag rule. No, I guess not.
Once again, gentlemen, thank you for your dedication to the town. It's greatly appreciated for all you do all the time, not just this event.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing to watch them work, and when Officer Meyer came out, he was pretty taxed. And he had to work days the next day too, so, so finally we got him home so he could relax and, you know, Gary could give him a big hug.
All right, you're more than welcome to stay, or you can leave if you wish, because sometimes our meetings are a little long and drawn out when we get to the fire department.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more communication?
Yeah, so we have, I actually got a thank you, or a voicemail from a Madeline Jones for Corporal Alande. Apparently he stopped her on a traffic stop, that she was having a really bad day, and gave her a written warning and said, you know, hopefully, whatever he said to her, but she called and said thank you for the warning, and the day turned out much better than anticipated, and wanted to say thanks for being stopped. So I think I had to take, that's my first one ever receiving one, right? So I sent it on to Corporal Alande, and he said, just being there, sir, so. And then, Deputy Chief Brittingham received an email from an officer in Crown Point, wanted to recognize Officer Stickle for some stops training that he's been doing with the new recruits. Just wanted to take a second to advise you of the good work Officer Stickle is doing teaching stops at the academy. In the past, we've had instruction not take it seriously and just hang out. Stickle has really stepped up and into his role in giving outstanding instruction and remains engaged. I remember FDOing him years ago and see that he has come a long way. I know people don't get recognition often, so I wanted to make sure you guys were aware. He is professional, knowledgeable, and represents your department very well. You should be proud of the representation he provides to NYLEA on your department's behalf. I helped Sergeant Farini administer the stops portion of the academy, and so we are always trying to determine which officers to ask in return. So that was a nice little email we got on Officer Stickle and the training that's taking place. And that's it.
All right, finances, purchase orders, expenditures, reports, and grants. So we have your expenditures here.
God bless you.
Thank you.
The other thing, when you buy gloves, I assume this is rubber gloves you're buying for the year?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions on the purchase order? Okay, anything on grants?
Currently on the grant situation, the Burns grant, has been signed. Mr. Austin had, sent me a fax on some, particular questions or just some things to be aware of. I've corrected one of them, which was, where the notification of information would come. They actually put the grant, I think that's what you're referring to, right? Who would you go to? So it's going to Jen, obviously the clerk treasurer. It's going to the state, but the other one was, they issued it out to the person that wrote the grant for me. So I asked them to correct that, and there's one of two ways in which we can do it. She said it's really informal. And then there's another question that Mr. Oster and I are going to talk about at a later date, but it seems like it's pretty good, the contract itself is standard.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, so that's for the Burns grant. So we're just waiting on signatures from the others that are involved that have to sign it. So it's a process. I had to sign it, then they send it on to the next person. So,
And that's for ASAP, is that correct, on that grant?
so one more time, sir?
That's not for next year, that's for this year?
That's this year, correct?
Okay. And then there was a grant we're applying for next year for?
For more camera stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're still in the process of filling those out. So that was the Burns grant. What other, so we did, reach out, which is, it's actually under equipment, but since it's kind of more of a grant, we reached out to the Eagles, and they voted and approved $9,600 for new phasers for the department, which are phasers. So we worked that out with Mr. Villalobos and their staff. We're going to have a a check presentation at the second meeting of the month at the council meeting, with the Eagles. So we're really excited about that, and, we're still trying to, the total bill for that is around $29,000 to re-outfit the whole department, which is much better than going a different route. So we're still working on getting some more funds, but this, 9,600 will start us off, get us about, I think, 6 or 8 of them. I think that's what it was, right, Dave? Something like that?
6 is what we were looking at, then you
Yeah.
informed us that, there's a discount.
Yeah, they
because
gave
of
us-
your volume, so we
Yeah.
could get even more perhaps?
Right. So, which is really good. And then, by recommendation of you all, I've been looking for ways to safely, clean a weapon inside the station. And we found a apparatus to put inside the station. It's got a cost of about $800, $759. And so we actually got, a request, or, was reached out by, the Patriot Guard. They want to donate to us, for the work that we've been doing with them for, the soldiers, specifically what happened with Mr. Laud recently. So I've reached out to them. He's gonna take it in front of the board, and he thinks pretty positive that they'll be able to purchase that for us. So, that'll be on station. Once we get it, I'll bring you guys over there so you can take a look at it. So that's the grant stuff.
And everyone knows a phaser is the replacement for a taser.
That's correct, sir. Just a different company.
Okay. Any other staffing updates? Part-time is a window.
We're still, we're at staffing, so, we'll skip on that. Only thing we have right now is Steve. We're getting daily updates on him. He's using his personal time, right now, and he's filed for, access to the personal sick bank, correct? So, we're just, keeping up with him to hopefully, praying for him that he gets better. He thinks he'll be back, but we're just waiting for the doctors.
And do we have,
We're taking applications through.
Yeah, the other staffing, yeah. Officer Corbin has been released. We went to the range today, him and I personally, and he qualified, no problems whatsoever. Did really well, actually. And then I told him that if it does have issues, I need to know immediately. So, he's good to go. He starts back on the road tomorrow, so everybody's cleared and back on the road.
wonderful.
Yeah, we're taking applications, as Sarah said, for the, front counter clerk part-time. They're going through Friday. Friday will be the last day, so once that's completed, we'll do our background checks and then, get with you guys to see when you want to do some interviews.
How many applications have you got?
Right now, 11 right now, so part-time. And some of them have some really good experience that will help out in that position, so, so we're hopeful on that, but that'll end on Friday, so, probably next month we'll have them in front of you. We'll figure out a date that we can, get interviews. And then the new officers, Officer Tomko has been released and he's on his own, doing really good. Officer Stirk and Officer King are still continuing in their FTO process, and doing pretty well.
And you haven't been to me to give you an address to see if you can find it yet.
No.
See me, I'll get you an address.
From what I told, he's, better than most.
Really?
So, yeah.
I bet he can't find that last one there.
You'll have to give him an oddball one. He may have to call his dad on it.
No, his mother.
His mother.
Not his dad.
You ready?
Yep, anything else under
No.
staffing updates?
I don't think so. We good,
Okay.
right, sir?
Training reports?
Training reports, you received the training report for the month. Let me pull mine up here. In the month of March, we had, where is
Well,
that?
we just really want February.
I'm sorry, the month of February, I apologize. MDT, we had some patrol tactics training, for an officer intoximeter, which is recertification online, SWAT training, and then you can see the huge de-escalation, use of force, stuff. So, you know, with the information I received from the town attorney on the new statutes on de-escalation, we've been, hitting that pretty heavily and, documenting that really good. We have sent all of the documentation the classes over to the town attorney so that he has, documentation at his office for our de-escalation training. But for the most part, at this point, every officer received at least 10 hours of de-escalation training, 2 of it being online and 8 hours of it in an environment with a simulator, at the MAC Center.
And the feedback on that, what do the guys think?
They enjoyed it actually immensely. The simulator's a 360-degree screen, and they can input different scenarios. Both of our SWAT guys are certified in running the machine. The only downside to the whole thing is it's in Valparaiso and it's a little drive. It's at the MAC Center, but it's completely free training for the department, so we were able to schedule the whole department, throughout this month. We're still finishing up with a few officers that have to take it still, but by the end of 1st of April, I think everybody will be finished.
They're picking up some skills, some tactics?
Yes, yeah, it's all about de-escalation, so however you respond, they click on the button, how you respond, and then the person that's in the screen responds differently. So, it's pretty neat. And I think you got everything right, Dave?
I do.
Okay. So we've been, Attorney Austin and I have been in direct communication on it to make sure that he's getting the information that he needs to report back, so, anything he needs, I'm trying to get it to him as soon as possible.
Okay, any questions on the training report? Okay, equipment?
As I spoke of with the phaser program, we're working on that, right now. And hopefully, we'll get that soon. New car updates, we have, 1 car that's in, at Thomas right now. I talked to him yesterday. He's still waiting for the other 3, and, once all 4 are in, then we will go up there and take them up to PDS. We're looking at probably May-ish, middle of May before we get them back and ready for the road. So we began ordering all the equipment. I had a conversation with the clerk treasurer. She's done began the financing stuff, told me to give her by the end of the week to have it done, so that we can start the financing. But Thomas Dodge is good. They'll still give us the cars, knowing that we're completing the financing, so we can get it to PDS because, it takes about 8 weeks, for their backlog, so to get all the equipment installed.
Monthly activity report?
As you can see, we had 815 calls for service for the month. We averaging about 32 calls per day. We had, we issued out, 72 state violations for the month, 211 warnings for the month. We had a total of 28 arrests, for the month, filed 45 charges. Year to date, we've got 59 arrests and 96 total charges.
So is a state violation a ticket or a warning or?
Ticket. So a state violation would be a citation, a ticket, and then the warning would be just a warning itself.
Okay, so does it show up as a state warning or no?
As you can see on the right-hand side, it says state violations, 69.9% of them, and then town ordinance violations, which are also citations, are in there. You can see those broken down on the left-hand side. There were 72 state violations, 10 traffic, town traffic, so that'd be ordinance, and then town ordinance violations as well.
Okay. Any
Oh, I'm
questions?
sorry, there was 103 total in the month. I said 72, that was only state violations. So there's 72, then 10 town traffic violations, which are ordinance, and then 21 ordinance violations.
Oh, here's the warning. I'm sorry, I didn't scroll down far enough.
And I'm working with Cliff to enhance this for you to get more data. Just please give me some time, it's been a little busy.
No problem.
You can see on the next line is the number of ordinances that have been issued in the month of February. So there were quite a few snow ones, some speed limit ones, and some related to abandoned vehicles. So, the month of February, we had quite a bit of snow and some really strong cold snaps, so. And then the second page is ordinance warnings for February, and then the totals.
Great, thank you. Okay, Lexipol updates.
So the Lexipol, we talked about this in our pre-meeting, and you guys you decided to defer it until Attorney Austin has a time to review it. And the only other question we had was, which the attorney's still looking into, was the wording for the ADA. that was discussed for, that the attorney's still looking into, but you remember in the meeting, we decided that you guys are gonna defer it, I'll let him review it first.
Correct. Okay. Anything else?
So you gotta make a motion to defer it,
No.
right?
Motion to defer.
I'll make the motion.
Do they have to, Mr. Rushing?
That was.
Okay.
Second. Is there a second?
I'll second, whatever you second, you can
Okay, you made your motion? Okay.
Any questions? Roll call vote, please.
Josh Govert?
Yes.
Jim Olsop?
Yes.
Dave Villalobos?
Yes.
Norm Stick?
Yes.
Charlie Caper?
Yes, motion deferred. Okay.
And the last thing that we have for others, Board, Lake County has filed for a grant for a program called Stratasite. Both police and fire will be utilizing this, but it will be utilized for every school in the entire county. It is a program that will give us, for lack of better terms, a map layout of where we would respond to in the event of an emergency, for lack of better terms. It gives all the exit information, gives a lot of information to us. It's a very expensive program, but the county is buying it for the whole county. And every department's gonna have access to it. I think, Chief, you got an email on it too, right? Once it's up and running, all of our major buildings and stuff will be through this program.
Gives you a floor plan too?
Yeah, I think it does, yeah, I think it does, yeah, it gives you a floor plan. We've just been briefed on it a little bit on what it does, so, God bless you. But it's gonna be helpful, and in light of the incident at Lake Central, is really gonna help us to be able to know where they want us to go, so each department will be able to, lay it out so that our incoming units know this is where you're gonna respond, whether it's police, fire, or EMS.
So it's gonna start with the schools, was your first phase?
That was the big one, is the schools, government buildings, what else did they say?
The mall.
The malls,
So we'll get
the
a-
large gathering locations.
Yeah, okay.
Yep,
Well, that's
so it's gonna be really nice, and every department will have it will have it, and it'll be right there on the officer's laptop or screen.
That's very nice.
Anything else, Bill?
Nope.
All right, we'll move on to Todd. Communications, please.
I don't have anything, I'm good tonight.
There's one here from Lake Hills Fire Department.
Wait, I thought you said you didn't want. No, Lake Hills Fire Department sent us a thank you, for assisting them on a fire. That's the only thing we have for communication right now tonight.
Okay,
Finances, you guys have a copy of our budget, so, you'll be able to track that as far as that's concerned. Purchase orders, let me get to it real, I was just looking at. There's not too many for the month, there's gonna be more coming up in March, so. Some training room stuff, as far as, our computers, we added to the training room cameras. A deflector for our snow plow, some bunker gear, our testing for our RIT pack, and then our exhaust system had a problem with it, so we had to fix it to the tune of $4,200 for the month. Grants, we should hear early June, late May about our safer grant for personnel. That's what we're hearing now. So I got a notice like a couple weeks ago that they're actually ahead of the ballgame, so we should find out pretty soon, within the next couple months. Training report, oh no, what did I just do? We have, you can see the daily training that's in there, but we have a few extra classes that we've been going through. We set up our CPR program now. We also set dates out to the town workers to be able to come and take CPR classes and get updated, to include the police and public works in the town hall. So we'll be doing that, and with the township trustee's office as well. We will start doing public ones, so we can get the public certified. If any of you would like to take a CPR class with us, just let me know.
you know, Ted, I have a question. Back to the docket, We're paying the town of Cedar Lake $441 for sewer and water.
You bet,
Isn't that a town building?
you bet.
Okay. I'm just questioning.
The town pays,
I don't have an answer for you. Excuse me?
the town pays sewer bills, the street department, and
It comes out of my budget.
Geez, I got in charge of the Buck Police Department.
We don't have our own office.
Charlie, it's been like that a long time.
Oh, I just don't have wastewater, I'm going like, was that stormwater or whatever, but,
Stormwater's included, but
okay, no, I'm sorry. It just,
light bill.
okay, you can continue.
You got any other expenses?
No, I
Okay.
just saw that and I thought, wow, that,
Staffing, we are back at full staffing. We don't have anybody out with COVID. COVID is gonna start making a return, they're saying. So we, currently have 80 million tests that we get in. We got so many tests at the fire station now that came in, we get them for free. So we will continue to do testing at the fire station for anybody that needs it. So, equipment itself, going back to, I'm sorry, I need to go back to training real quick. We have, some people in in car seat school, as far as installation of car seats. So we'll have more people trained in that as well. As far as equipment's concerned, our tanker, we've completed a bunch of training with it. We do have quite a few people that can take it out now. It's actually ready to go into service as far as some basic stuff with it, driving it, dumping water, some pump stuff. Chief Monitor got some prices working with the township on, getting some fittings that we need for the truck. Unfortunately, they're back ordered and they're way out, and he was informed today there's a 17% upcharge, service charge on equipment now. So they call it a surcharge, yeah, up to 17%. So, the cost of everything has just gone through the roof. The monthly activity report, I'm gonna go back to it. Where is it? There it is. 134 calls for service. EMS and fire, we're at 290 for the year as of end of February. We are up on our calls like we were at last year by quite a few actually. Equipment, back to the tanker, I talked about that, but our new squad is back at Bozak again for the same problem. This is the fourth trip there, and he contacted me the other day. They're talking to Ford itself to try to figure out what's wrong with this unit, and they have no idea what's the matter with it as of Monday when I talked to them. It was towed there last week again, so. Lexipol policies, all of our policies have been distributed and acknowledged by our folks. I had a couple that straggled, so I sent an email threatening to write them up, and we got them all done.
good.
So, they're all in position. The procedures will be done shortly. We're modifying them a little bit as well. So you guys have everybody has the policies, everybody's acknowledged them, and we're rocking with them, so. The storm sirens, as you know, it's tornado season, and, during our testing process in the last couple months, we found that the siren at the fire station is having a problem. We think it's a computer problem. Actually, we know it is, and, Dwayne Austin Electrics has ordered the parts for it, but those are on back order. So the other sirens are operating with no problem in the township. The one at the town hall and then the one at the middle school are operating properly.
So when is that weekly test?
Our weekly test is every Saturday at noon,
Saturday at 12?
year round. And then they had National Siren Testing Week last week, and it was done everybody did it on Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the morning, I think it was. So if you heard it then that's what it was for. And it was well publicized throughout, the region. But that's every community set them off at that time. We are in the middle of, working with the Council Affairs Commission on updating our pension for our full-time personnel. That's been going good. There's some research being done by the consulting firm that's, working with the town to see how it's obtainable for us, moving forward. And under other new building update, we are meeting tomorrow for our kickoff meeting and a Zoom meeting with the firm that was approved by the council and also Veritas Group. So we will be, Chief Fisher and I are pretty excited about being on that meeting tomorrow and getting the ball rolling for the very first meeting, so. And that's what, at 2 o'clock?
Yeah, 2 o'clock our time.
Yeah, tomorrow afternoon, so pretty excited. We will be out doing business inspections. We start every year around this time. So the businesses in town will receive its yearly business inspection. We will have one of two people coming to the businesses near you. Be ready, Charlie. Come in. Hot.
The fire extinguisher guy was here this week.
Good, all right. You're ahead of the ballgame. Thank you.
What's this radio apparatus that you jumped over?
Radio appearance, so Chief Wilkening and I will be talking to Laura Kegel, who is the Communications Director for Drive Clean Indiana, on a radio next Monday, isn't it?
Monday.
Yeah, next Monday.
At 9:20 a.m.
At 9:20 a.m. Just to talk to us about the grant we got for the 2 cars. Well,
2 hybrid cars.
We'll not talk about where they're at right now, but we would explore Drive Clean Indiana.
Is that a radio, what radio station is it?
I don't know.
I think it's 93.9. I'm not positive.
AM or FM?
FM. I promised I would be a nice spokesperson. I did explain to her we were having issues with it, and that doesn't have anything to really do with the grant itself. It's the vehicle, so it's nothing to do with them, so.
Okay.
I have nothing under other.
On your activity report, I see here you've got a dive rescue and 3 water rescues. Was that here in town?
No, all 4 of them were outside, or Mavis response. I think, when we went to Gary, we went to Hammond, Lake Station, and then Crom Point, I think. I'm in front of you, but that's our dive team, believe it or not.
When are the boats going in water?
Ours is on a trailer, ready to go. It's being serviced, so it can go in the water anytime if it's needed. But,
Ours is
we don't have the piers in yet.
Yeah, ours is getting the power plant installed. I think he said he would have it by April, was the projected date, because we ordered in December. So once that's completed and the piers installed, which if you notice, he's got, probably over half the pier installed
Yeah.
already. So they'll be put in the water as soon as we get the slips put in.
Typically by the middle of April, they're pretty much done.
Yeah.
I see people are buzzing around the lake already. They just can't wait.
Yeah. Well, we've had some pretty nice warm weather here recently, so it's been pretty.
That's
nice.
just Ralph.
Yeah.
That's just Ralph there.
No, it wasn't.
He gets out there and gets in trouble.
Okay, anything else, either of you?
The only thing I will mention is the award that I gave to our officers. I will be also sending one to the colonel for the Department of Natural Resources, because one of the DNR officers responded and assisted us with that call-out, with the SWAT call-out. So I asked her to be here tonight, but she was unavailable. So she's going to be at your next Board of Safety meeting in uniform, so that you guys can meet her. And we work really close with her because of the lake. She's assigned to Cedar Lake, so works out pretty good. So I'm going to be also sending a letter to her director or superintendent and thank her for helping us out that night.
I just have one thing. I noticed that we've had some road closures that the police department is posting on Facebook. I think that's very nice that the public is aware of it, even though,
That would be Sarah, probably, or Clark.
thank you both. I mean, you know, people can make detours then if they need to, so. All right.
I'm lucky I have 2 staff members that are amazingly informative, so they do an amazing job. I couldn't do it without them.
That's good to hear. All right, public comments. What's your name and address?
My name is Ken Puent. I live at 13641 Morse Street. I am one of the chaplains here at the police department. I wanted to come and express my appreciation to the board. I have minutes ago returned from training with the International Conference of Police Chaplains in Lexington, Kentucky. They did a regional training seminar for us. This is the 3rd year I've been able to go and have completed my certification steps now to be a certified police chaplain. But I'm very grateful to the town for extending that privilege to me to be able to receive the training that I have. Much of what you discussed tonight has been covered, and de-escalation, and CPR, and appropriate ways to assist in ride-alongs, and where to stay out of the way, and where to be helpful, eyes and ears. And we got introduced to Lexipol over the week, and there is a chaplain protocol in Lexipol. So, and I just wanted to express my personal appreciation for the honor that I get to serve, helping these people to do their job better. Thank you.
We're glad to have you on board with it.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you. I will say that both Chaplain Ken and Chaplain John are pretty much around most of the week. We have prayer and pledge every Wednesday here at the town hall. They're here. One of them is here. Ken is here nearly all the time, but John as well, unless he's got something with the church, come down and do prayer and pledge with us with the town. We've been doing that for 2 years now. I know that Chaplain John is at the fire station quite a bit, helping out.
We need all the help we can get.
Helping out with it, and it's really nice to have that that spiritual guy that you can rely on, you can talk to.
The nice thing is it helps a little bit with the debriefing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you're gonna be talking to somebody that's not gonna repeat anything you have to say, so you can rely on those people.
It's an amazing program, so.
It really is nice. It's an advantage that our community has, that you don't see that too many other towns. And I'd like to invite you down to do the same for us as well.
Okay.
They'll make you polish the truck, though.
No, it doesn't.
Any more public comment?
Bob Carnahan, 12850 Fairbanks Street, Cedar Lake, Indiana. I represent the town council on Lake County Solid Waste, and they are having their first household hazardous waste collection this Saturday, March 26th at the Lake County Fairgrounds, 889 Court Street in Crown Point from 9 to 2. Collections are for all Lake County residents, no organizations, businesses, or groups. ID is required, and this year they've got a 100-pound limit and no latex paint. So anybody that, if you have household hazardous waste, you can take it up there to the Lake County Fairgrounds this Saturday.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, thank you.
Public comment twice.
I'd like to make a public comment also.
Go ahead, Ralph. State your address.
I was at the Laud funeral this weekend. The amazing job that the fire and the police department did for the burial. His final resting place was the Methodist Cemetery on 41. They closed 41 so the funeral procession could get in there. They closed the lane in that. It was amazing. And the fire department was out there with their fire trucks helping the block. The police department was out there. I think you had almost every policeman we have there.
No, I only had about 7.
Yeah.
One shift.
Well, I mean, you were there, Carl was there, there was, you know, a whole group, Kid was there,
There was a lot
the
of,
Phipps were there, the fire department was there, I mean, it was, and then when they had to fly over.
Mhm.
I don't know if yous all realize, the helicopter that flew over the grave was the last helicopter that Andrew flew.
Wow.
Yeah,
that was his crew
yeah.
that was flying.
It was.
It worked out really good. We actually, I contacted NDOT, they gave me permission to shut US 41 down, on one lane, and they also provided us a truck. We call them crash trucks, but they're trucks that sit behind where workers are at, so if someone does hit them, it just damages the truck. So they had a worker that came up and shut the road down for us. My VIPs and I and several of us put out cones, so that they could park on 41, because of the amount of personnel that were there, and it went really smoothly. I think the FD had intended on doing a lot more, but unfortunately, they were on a fire, so. For quite some time, so, and then I think back-to-back calls right after that.
Yeah, it was a
so
busy day.
It was busy for them, so.
Unfortunately, we didn't get, we helped with bringing them in, and we brought the flag. I just wanna add to that, as far as if there's any veteran that passes in the community, we like to display the big flag that we have for them. We've done it for many. If you ever see it sitting in a funeral home with a flag up, it's because that person is either a police, fire veteran, that's served. And, we think it's an honor for us to do that, and I just think it's something that our town should be involved in with, the fire department and the police department. I mean, we are all kind of paramilitary, police definitely, but we follow the same command structure, and, that day we brought him back was, I couldn't even walk up there, I had to stay on the road. It was me and Josh rode with me, and, it was really a hard thing to see, knowing the family and knowing the kid. We had brought him home when he first got through boot camp, and he got his pilot's license, and we brought him in on the fire truck, and he said, man, I sure would like to drive this thing. And I said, well, if you could fly a helicopter, you sure as heck can drive this thing, so that's not a big deal, we'll set you up. And, unfortunately, we never got to do that, but, it was a sad day for our community, it really was. He was a very outstanding young man.
Let you know, it was a proud day for the community. We had nothing but good comments on your efforts, both of you guys.
Thank you.
Everybody in the community really was impressed.
It was important for the family, it was important for the community, you know, growing up here. Yeah, we worked really well together, so.
But please let us know if you ever run into somebody that, you know, sometimes we miss people we don't know, but.
I don't know what hand you had in this, but Andrew died in an accident in Boswell, Indiana, in Benton County. Every fire department along Route 41, from Fowler, Indiana to Cedar Lake, came out, blocked roads, displayed flags, and I'm sure you coordinated part of that.
We did something, yeah.
Yeah, and so I really appreciate that.
We reached out to the Lowell Fire Department, and the Lowell guys reached out to the next department, and they just kept.
And that just
Yeah.
works the entire route from Fowler to here.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
They're gonna do a memorial service for him this Friday down at the Army base.
At Fort Campbell.
Yeah.
Oh, are they? Yeah, that's right.
And they're gonna name one of the buildings after him.
That's awesome.
I got an email from his father.
Okay. Yeah, I had a chance to talk to his brother, this week, and he was very, very happy. His mom's supposed to call me, she just hasn't yet, I'm sure she's just struggling with it, so
Yes.
I'm just let her on time, so.
All right, any more public comment? 3 times, big none? Is there a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Yeah, all in favor, please. Aye.
Aye. Me too.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.